Your first aid program involved displaying data on the screen, mostly literals and fields. In the most recent lesson, you output a variable, and with what you've learned, you could display a variable on the screen. Now you need to ask an operator for some data that you won't find in a field, nor in a control function, and you can't think of any way to calculate it. Fortunately, it's easy to ask. In Unibase, you do it with the accept or input verb. You need a variable as storage space to save the data you accept. And we've already done that with the variable your name. So let's go back to our program. D for file definition, E for output, C for change, play, field release, release. And let's go down to our begin routine. I'll delete the move constant line, and we're going to replace it with an accept statement. All the syntax items we learned about show and pause apply here also. So let's make this statement look good. First we'll put in accept, then we'll tell it where from line 10, then we'll ask for first initial and last name, so the operator knows what we want to be entered. And of course we're going to store it into the your name variable. Will that work? It will, but it won't make you happy. Remember when we got zeros in our header record because the your name variable was initialized to type numeric? We still have the same problem. Only this time, Unibase won't let your operator enter anything but numbers. We have to initialize our variable to alpha. We change the type by moving alpha to a variable. Usually we do spaces. If I put in move a space to your name, that will definitely initialize the variable your name to be of type alpha. But the problem is, it will also make it only one character long, so your operator can only enter a one-character name. We don't want that either. Let's make this 20 spaces, and your name will now accept 20 alphanumeric characters. We could have made it fewer, like 15 spaces, but not greater than 20. But teach, you say. Didn't you tell us that a variable could hold 120 characters? Yes, I did. But 20 is the default. If you want a variable to hold more, you have to let Unibase know about it in the declare statement. Like this. If I put a colon and then 30 after the local variable your name, it will now hold 30 characters. That won't let you have 30 numeric digits though, except as alphanumeric characters. You couldn't do arithmetic with 30 numeric digits. Okay, this should do what we want now, except let me take my 30 off. But before we run it, let's clean up the code a bit by making our begin routine into a subroutine. A subroutine is code that is callable from another area of the program. When called, it does its thing, then returns program control to where it was called from. A subroutine needs a name, and its name is a label. So begin can be the name of our subroutine. Then the subroutine code is denoted by using the enter and exit verbs. Enter is put right after the label, and it does not have a period after it. The enter verb is what identifies this code as a subroutine, not just a label for a go-to statement. At the end of our code, we'll take out the go-to top statement and put in the word exit with a period. Exit says return to the code right after where I got called and continue execution from there. Now let's go to our when start statement. We can no longer use go to begin because begin is no longer just a label. It's the name of a subroutine. We have to change the go-to a different verb. Perform. When Unibase executes a perform statement, it jumps to the subroutine code, executes it, and returns to immediately after the perform statement, which is right here. So we can take out this top label. We no longer need it. That makes the code look a little neater. And using subroutines is a good programming technique. It keeps you from getting lost in your go-to forest. Let's test this one now. F10W and F10X to exit. Of course, parse it. Play. Release. We finished parsing. Let's go execute. Help. Help. File input output via a standard job. Play. Play 001. And look, it asks us for our first initial and last name. Let's enter I am terrific. Field release. Done. Of course, let's go check it. Help. E for system functions. F for OS access. Field release. Release. Change to the temp directory. Type student. And look at, our name shows up just like we want it to, and we can give it a different one every time we run the output program.